welcome to Connections for Life. I'm Ted Pete.
I'm Carmen Cuvo. I couldn't do the voice. It would be embarrassing.
I wish you would have tried.
Seriously. You're such
Maybe
a
towards the end.
I'm-
Hey, Joe, welcome to my life. You're now an active participating member of my family. Everybody's disappointed.
I get that. I agree. I agree with you.
I'm Joe Surratt. Does anybody, you guys drink tea or just coffee?
I like mint tea.
That's what I have, peppermint.
I like mint. I like, I don't really like, I'm not a big green tea guy.
Yeah.
I like mint.
Yeah, oolong.
So,
oolong's all right.
Carmen Culo, how was your weekend? How was your Thanksgiving?
My head got bigger.
Not much. There's not much of a difference. You just
Thanksgiving, I don't know. Thanksgiving was good. It was nice to have Logan home. We didn't do a whole lot. I mean, I guess we did. We did a lot of stuff around the house, pulling up Christmas decorations, all kinds of stuff like that, and putting up decorations and helping Lindsay. But other than that, we didn't do much, which was good. Logan's been hockey in school, so he pretty much hasn't done anything for like 5 days, which is nice too. So he goes back today though.
Nice. Joe, how was your turkey day?
I actually was completely alone on Thanksgiving because my girls were with their mom. So I didn't do anything on Thanksgiving. I went to the gym. That was my big thing for the day. And I ate turkey, but it was a turkey sandwich.
Why didn't you go to your mom? Your mom didn't do anything?
No, everybody came over Friday here. So
gotcha.
we did Thanksgiving Friday.
You were the hostess with the mostest on Friday?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Joe shuffling around? Like Joe is like, I can imagine Joe as the guy doing the turkey who's like screaming at everybody in the kitchen, get out. And then when people get there, he's like, hi. Come on in.
That is completely the opposite of how I am. I enjoy cooking. The problem is that I don't get to cook much for anybody because it's, just me mostly. So I don't really cook that often. I just eat sandwiches. like that's like my main staple. I eat like 27 sandwiches a week, but I cooked. I got up early. No one was here. The kids came around 10 o'clock and then, my family showed up around 11 or something like that. So it was good. Soccer games on Saturday. It was just pretty normal. It was weird because I kind of lost track of days during this. Like I thought all day Saturday was Sunday, and then I woke up Sunday like panicked because I thought I had to like be somewhere or bring the girls to school or something. And so I've been off. I just been off for a couple of days, but here we are again. So
here we are.
How about you, Teddy?
So our Thanksgiving was a little different. For the last 16 years, my wife and kids and I have gone down to my in-laws, and my mother-in-law has made Thanksgiving dinner. And this year we plan to have Thanksgiving in Florida at my sister-in-law's house. So my in-laws and all of us were going to go down, and then my son made the JV basketball team, and he had 37 scrimmages over Thanksgiving break. So we decided that I was going to stay home with him, and then my wife decided that she didn't like the idea of him and I being home alone on Thanksgiving, or trust that I would take.
Or home alone in period.
Both valid answers.
Didn't matter what day it was, actually.
Yeah. She didn't like that idea. So then she decided to stay home with us, and we sent Christina to Florida with Nanny and Papa. And Eileen made a Thanksgiving dinner here for the three of us.
That's cool.
And it was awesome because for the first time in 15, 16 years, I got to watch my Cowboys play in front of a fireplace in my own home, in my sweatpants, and a plate of food.
That's nice.
I didn't get yelled at. It was great.
They lost.
Again, that was an irrelevant factor in it, because the fact that I didn't have to go an hour and a half and
tell me you weren't screaming at the TV at the end of that game.
Oh, lost my mind. My mind. Actually, so it was one of my good friend Brian. It was his birthday on Friday after Thanksgiving, but because everybody was at their house across the street, we went up and celebrated his birthday. So the second half of the Cowboys game, we went up to his house and celebrated his birthday and stuff like that. It was fun.
Columbus kind of fell apart over the weekend too on Saturday. Not a good day for Columbus. Not a good day for Columbus, Ohio.
First time Michigan beat them in Harbaugh's entire tenure.
Yeah, and since I think it's 13 or 17 years, some crazy number, they haven't beat them. And they just took a lot of penalties. I mean, Ohio State had 4 times the amount of penalties in Michigan.
So did the Cowboys against.
And now we're gonna have to hear Frank about it I'm gonna have to hear Frank for the next year, which is probably the worst part. Yeah.
Repping the brand right now, though, Chad. Is that an Ohio State hoodie on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boom. Repping the brand.
I wore it the other day.
I saw
Big
that.
shout
game.
out to Energy World Net for providing my shirt and hat for today's show. You know, send the check.
I saw that game unfold at the soccer field. They have like a big 80-inch TV up there, so it was funny because all the kids were playing over here and all the guys were like turned watching the 80-inch TV. But I was I ain't gonna lie, I get a little bit of joy out of time every time Ohio State loses. So not because I'm a Michigan fan, but just because Ohio State fans are so obnoxious. It's just nice to watch.
They're actually not that obnoxious. They're just big fans. They're just annoying. They're
obnoxious, annoying, whatever you want to call it.
I guess. At least they have passion. It's so weird though. Like,
but here's the thing: I would have been equally happy if Michigan lost for the same reason.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Right? Like, there's
but
no.
You know what the craziest part is? Lindsay and I, like on Saturday, Rocky was like, "Hey, you want to come over and watch the game?" I didn't even know what time it was on. Like I that was at 10:30, and then Lindsay and I went somewhere.
It must have started at like noon, right?
Started at noon. We went somewhere at like 11:50, and I was like, "There's one car on the road." I was like, "Why is it?" And then I looked it up, and the game started at 12. It was like the whole city shut down.
That's when you go grocery. That's when you go grocery shopping.
Yeah. So weird.
That's great.
So weird.
That's great. So, all right. So we had good Thanksgivings. We had some fun. I think it's time for Joe's idiom.
Yeah. Innuendo idiom time.
Yeah. I got a good one today, I think.
What else did I call him? Something else?
Yeah.
You pick on me for it?
Altruism.
Whatever.
Is it that time? Are we gonna get one or no?
I don't know. Stretching. Give me a break.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I was waiting for you to put up a background. You said you're.
I don't have an idiom background yet. I was just,
yeah, maybe someday.
probably not.
I can hope.
Don't get excited.
So I'm going to give you guys an option. You can pick one of the three, which you want to learn about.
One.
Dressed to the nines, eating humble pie, or feeling under the weather.
Dressed to the nines.
I agree with Chad. I said one.
That's the one I wanted to do, so that worked out. I just wanted to see if you guys would pick it.
For once, all three of us are in agreement.
So do you guys know what dressed to the nines means?
So my guess is that.
No, I mean just what it means. Like if you say it, not where it.
Like it to be dressed up and proper, correct? Like
dressed in your best clothes, nice
Yeah.
clothes, right? All right, so now Teddy, you can launch into your guess.
Well, mine is kind of funny, I think. Well, I laugh, but you won't. So when you see a beautiful woman, you know, you'll say she's a 10. All right. And men, we're never as good as women. So even in our best clothes, we're only dressed to the nines.
Okay.
Wow, I don't think that's it.
You usually get really close. This time you weren't even in the same.
I'm gonna assume it has to do with something.
I hate
with
both of you
military.
so much in life.
It has to do. It's either the military, something to do with the military, or something to do maybe with the time of night, as to when you're going out dancing or something of the sort. Long time ago.
No, neither. This one blew me away.
Why I asked. That's why I wanted this one because I had no idea.
So nowadays, when we go to the store, we can buy off the shelf suits. In the 18th century, there was no such thing. So if you wanted a suit, you had to have it made for you. So in those days, a suit included a waistcoat, and it took a total of 9 yards of fabric to make it. So it was called dressed to the nines because it cost. Because it was the amount of fabric required to manufacture the suit.
That's interesting. I would have never, ever guessed that.
Clearly.
I like mine better.
Why? Because you're kissing their female viewers' butts.
No, because
Guys can never be a 10. I'm a 10 out of 100.
Oh, wow.
It depends on what your scope is.
It's all about perspective.
No, anytime I think of that reference, I always think of the movie Varsity Blues. She's a 10.
No one. We're on like episode 84, and you bring up movie references all the time, and Chad and I just stare at you blankly because we have no idea. Not that they're not correct or
no, you're
valid.
definitely correct. I just
we
don't
have
know
no idea what you're talking about. I don't know how you remember movie stuff, but you couldn't remember Clark.
It's like
Griswold.
this.
What was he calling Clark Griswold? Hey, it's the Oscar Mayer winner.
Clark. I can't remember. Cliff.
Yeah. The Hendersons. I got Clark Griswold confused with the Hendersons.
Oh, with Harry and the Hendersons. That's right.
Didn't they both have station wagons?
Yeah, they definitely did.
As probably many movies did back then. So did Adventures in Babysitting.
All right, what time is it? It's time to go to the gas fact. No,
Oh, no.
because I'm tired of getting picked on.
I only got done. Stop saying silly stuff.
I said a movie reference from a popular movie from the time that
I didn't pick on you. I just said we'll never get it. We have no idea what you're talking. I don't even know. I couldn't name one person in Varsity Blues or what it's even about. I have no idea.
Dawson from Dawson's Creek was in Varsity Blues.
I don't know who that is either.
I do.
Yeah.
That I know. That I know.
All right, thank you.
Never watched a minute of
I
that.
love Dawson's Creek. It was probably one of my favorite shows in college.
Mine too.
I mean,
We
literally,
never
like in
Dawson's Creek.
college,
All
we would
right.
every week we would all get together and watch
Yes.
a new episode of Dawson's Creek.
You know what we
Yes.
used to do?
We would do
you
a
know-
lot of other things too, but
Right. You know, I was gonna say, you know what we used to do in college is we would hang out during the day, and we'd always watch Days of Our Lives, like to the point that like we were into it hardcore. Like I can say, you know what's crazy, really quick before we move on. If you watched a soap opera 30 years ago and you turn it on today,
The
you know
same.
exactly what's going on.
it's exactly the same.
It's incredible. Like whoever writes that's a genius. I don't.
There's no change, just the people.
No,
and a lot of
people are
times
the
the people
same.
don't even change.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on.
Sorry, I think it's what time is it, Teddy?
It's time to go to take a nap. I think Days of Our Lives is coming on in a minute.
It's a good theme for next week.
So you guys know that like natural gas is reliable. It's got good performance. It's really a good method for cooking and heating and things like that. So it's also cheaper than using electric to cook or heat your
cost
home.
effective.
That's the same word. But so more than blank % of professional chefs prefer using gas appliances to their to electric appliances. I'll give you choices.
Please.
82%, 67%, 95%, or 74%.
95%. 95%.
95?
74.
I hope you're on the screen over here, Teddy. Like on when you did the taping, otherwise it looks like
Oh,
you're
that's
over
him.
here. Yeah. It's 95%. Good job, Teddy.
Wow.
95%.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it just offers, according to chefs, it offers more precision and control. Cooking with natural gas keeps your food on the range of the flame without worry of overcooking, and it's easy to keep your signature dish warm as you go do other things at the same time. So, I don't know, pretty cool stuff.
That is cool.
That was a good one, Joe.
Thanks.
That was a good one.
Especially because I got it right. Sun shines on the dog's tail every now and then. He's usually pooping, but
I don't think that's the idiom.
It might be the altruism though.
That's not even close. Didn't we read the definition of altruistic or altruism?
No, let's not do that.
Oh, we did it already.
okay. Well, why don't we get into the thing that people are actually here to do instead of listen to us talk? Who's our guest today, Chad?
I want to watch this.
Today is Mr. Walt Carson. He's the business development manager at Equix. Equix. Did I say that wrong?
I don't
Sorry,
know.
Walt.
That's why I wanted you to do it, because I don't know how to pronounce the name of the company he's with.
It's Equix. We're going with Equix because that's how it looks. Walt's been a project manager involved in construction projects essentially since he's a kid, when his parents owned his father owned a construction business, and that's how he kind of got into it. He's from the Atlanta area, and just a lot of fun to talk to. A lot of interesting stuff about construction and what Equix is trying to do and what they're
How do you
reaching
spell
into.
that? Equix.
Which part?
Equix.
Exactly how it sounds.
I bet you there's a U
Say
after the Q.
Just spell it.
EQUIX.
IX.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking like Dos Equis. Like that's with an IUS.
No.
Could be right. You never know.
Okay, Ted, can you cut Joe off and just
So without further ado, welcome to the show, Walt Carson. Hello, Walt, and welcome to Connections for Life.
Hello. It's good to be
Hello.
here.
Nice to
All right,
see you.
buddy.
I want to first and foremost say that out of all the episodes we've done, we always do a pre-call. And I think Walt, unfortunately, was the only one that I've missed. So I want to apologize for not being on that call. Have I missed another one? I don't think I have.
I've missed several, so
Well, we know about you,
yeah.
old hat.
I don't know. Doesn't matter. But
Anyways,
no,
want to
you-
apologize to you, Walt, but it's great nice to see you finally and get to meet you. So welcome to the show. Let's just jump right into it. How did you get your start in the construction industry?
Well, I am a third generation general contractor. My grandfather was a general contractor. My father was a general contractor. And to tell you the truth, all I ever wanted to do when I was a little boy was just be like my dad.
That's pretty neat.
So I just wanted to follow in his footsteps. And I literally When I got into college, I literally asked my father, what do I need to major in? So I really wanted to follow in his direction. And from the time I was a young boy, I was brought onto job sites on the weekends, looking at projects, and then on up through the teenage years as a laborer sweeping job sites, and then into the high school years and college years of estimating and just learning all the different.
What was your
aspects of the
major? What
business.
did he tell you to go to school for?
He told me to get a
Weightlifting.
business. He told me to get a business management degree because he said to me that ultimately we're managers. So, and then I asked him, I said, well, what about all the technical aspects of construction? Because I remember going into his office as a young boy and seeing actual blueprints, with the ammonia smell on the drawings, sitting on his side table and just looking at it going, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to learn this?
Yeah.
And he just told me, don't worry about that. That's going to come to you on the job.
Yep.
And so that's the direction that I took.
So you said third generation, right?
Yes, sir.
Will there be a fourth?
I haven't. It's funny that you say that. I don't say don't go into construction, but I say you go your own route. I say if you enjoy what you do every day, I mean, it sounds cliche, but it really is true. I believe
Sure.
if you enjoy what you do every day, you don't work a day in your life.
No, you're right.
Story.
And
That's a true
honestly, I'm lucky. I love construction. I love all the moving parts. I love what a coordinated effort of manpower can accomplish.
That's awesome.
And all the different types of people that you get to meet, from the guys in the field to the CEOs.
That's awesome.
So
I have to imagine that I can't build anything. So let's just get that out of the way. But I
I'm not
have to
great at it either.
imagine that, there's probably a huge sense of accomplishment when something is completed, or when you drive by or you go to a project site that you saw from nothing to, building it up to what it is. There must be a huge level of just of what's the word I just said? I forgot.
Pride, accomplishment.
Accomplishment in that. And I think the cool thing is that you identify that as a kid. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a fireman or a garbage man. I clearly am none of those things, but it's really interesting that from a very young age, you realize that and you stuck with it. And it's still.
You're kind of
something
both of
that
those,
stays
actually,
with you.
Joe.
Yeah, that's true.
Constantly putting out fires and taking out trash.
I don't get paid for it though. Yeah. But no, I think that's really neat. There's not a lot of people that can say that from when they were kids to where they are as an adult, and they're still happy. It's still fun, and it's still something that they enjoy doing. So
It's really neat.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I have tried to get off the path a couple times in my life, and it always puts me back into construction. So
Every time I think I'm out.
I've grown to accept that this is my place and my contribution
path.
to the working world.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
That's
I like
great.
it. So I meant to ask you this last time we talked and before we started talking, but I wanted to know, my next question is, what does Equix do? Or is it Equix? How should I pronounce that? Because when I look at it, I want to do it all different ways.
You pronounce
Glad
it
you had that
Equix.
Equix. Yeah. Thanks,
Yes,
Joe.
sir. Company's been around since around 1985. It's 85 or 87, forgive me. And
close
what
enough.
we do is essentially we are an infrastructure company. Anything from roads to bridges to heavy civil to gas and oil pipeline to solar farms, wind farms, site utilities, and a little bit of general contracting in the Southeast.
It's just wild to me that you can cover that many things, because when I, just myself, I think about how pipeline, how much different pipeline is than, windmills essentially, or solar panels. Like, that's a completely different skill set of people you have to go find to do that work. And I think that's kind of impressive in itself, really, just thinking about it that way.
I 100% agree. And that's one good thing about working at Equix. I'm impressed to work here. I'm happy
That's
to
cool.
be associated with the company because we do so many cool things. And to be able to effectively coordinate all those different business units and make them profitable is so impressive to me. And I'm watching and learning it as they do it. And it's fun to be able to market all these different services to our prospective clients.
How many employees do you guys have?
Believe we're at 1,300
Wow.
plus or minus.
Had to be a ton. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And
Yeah.
it's you ask how we are able to get into different business units, market segments, and a lot of the time it's done through an acquisition.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay. So you guys make it a practice of purchasing other businesses in different avenues of construction or areas of business and whatnot.
Now, do you only operate in a specific region? You'd mentioned the Southeast a few times. Is that typically, what is your normal footprint for?
The entire country.
Okay.
If there's a business case for a particular project in a geographic spot, we'll go.
Okay.
My particular responsibility is the Southeast for all the different business units of Equix.
Oh, okay.
But I have a counterpart in Houston that handles the Midwest and the West Coast and Texas.
Okay.
As you can imagine, there's a lot
A
of
lot.
energy work in Texas.
For sure.
Well, with you stating that, that your job is the business development manager. And so what does a day in the life of you look like with being involved in so many different industries or sectors? And yeah. What does a day for you look like?
It can be challenging to market multiple business, to be responsible for multiple business units. Because it's almost like, where do you start? So what you do is you just take bites of the elephant, essentially. And so 1 week or part of 1 week, you'll focus on one market segment, being researching who you're going to, which prospects you're going to go after, and then the next couple of days you're either sending them emails, phone calls, trying to set up meetings to make presentations, talking with our business unit leaders to give us guidance on who they want us to target, what areas of different services in each different business unit that they want us to try to market. So it's almost like the squeaking wheel gets the grease.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lowest hanging fruit.
And the beautiful thing is, so many of our prospects, you can hit 2 birds with 1 stone, essentially. By once you have the correct contact, let's say in a municipality, then you can market multiple services to them once you have a relationship.
Sure.
And you can, over time, just spoon feed them the different things that you do, or listen to their needs and their pains of what they might be having problems with in their particular operation.
Pretty neat.
Well, I want to ask, because you've been doing this for a long time, and I know that for all of us, there's points in our career that are maybe I don't like to say crowning achievements, but what has like defined us, what their favorite project was, or what your favorite accomplishment has been. Is there one that sticks out in your mind and all the projects that you've worked on in the course of the years that really is like the one that you can really put your stamp on and that meant the most to you?
I would say that there's probably one physical project that I'm really proud of to be involved, and that was a church facility, Jonesville Baptist Church in Savannah, Georgia. It was just a big, beautiful church with all different disciplines, from elevators to structural steel to masonry to glue laminated beams, exposed tongue and groove wood ceilings.
Sounds
Uh,
amazing, but awful probably if you're trying to redo it. Not fun.
So that was a really cool project to build, and it was one that my father basically threw me to the wolves on in my late 20s. Said, "Here you go build this."
Time to put your big boy pants on, huh?
I'm sorry, say that again.
It's just time to put your big boy pants on.
Time to put your big boy pants on.
Well,
Sink
I
or
just
swim.
I just want to jump in here because maybe everybody doesn't know that you live in Savannah.
Yes, sir.
So I think it's probably even more impactful because you probably still frequently go by that church and get to see that project, and it probably always is a constant reminder of one of your best achievements or most,
Two things. One, it's interesting that you say that because there's many times I'll drive by it and won't even notice it. And I think to myself, wow, I just drove past a project that I spent over a year of my life, blood, sweat, tears, conflicts, sleepless nights,
as built,
all that stuff, and go, wow, I didn't even look at it as I drove by, because it's so, for me, there's so much involved with the next project that it literally takes all of my brain. When I was a project manager, it took all my brain power to worry about the next project because it had all the details. Run a new race.
We do that a lot. That's kind of like us. We accomplish some pretty big things and do some expos and stuff like that, and we get done with it, and it's like, okay, let's
on to the next one.
Got to move on to the next achievement or accomplishment.
But I guess one of my questions, and probably one of the last ones we have for you, is I can't imagine the challenges you guys have right now as that big of a construction company. What are some of the biggest challenges? Is it workforce? I would have to assume that's part of it right now, just with how the world is. Is it construction materials? Just what do you think it is? What's the biggest challenge for you guys?
If I could back up,
sure,
1 second.
Absolutely.
About the crowning achievement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily, for me personally, it's not necessarily a building that I built. I can say that my crowning achievement is really my current position, because I never would have been able to have this position without the experience that I've had up to this point, because I couldn't intelligently talk about construction unless I truly felt the pain and that you go through in building projects, and that's what gives you experience and education and the ability to navigate a rough ocean. So that's my crowning achievement. Sorry. So to the
don't apologize. I'm glad that you've circled back on that. I appreciate that.
That's a really cool perspective, Walt. If I can just interject for a second, like I have a phrase. I'm big on these catchphrases. I live my life for a lot of little one-line quips at a time. But
most of them are curse words. But hey,
yeah, obscene. But yeah, go for it, Terry.
One what you just described was almost as if, we're all living in a season of previously sowed seeds. So your crowning achievement may be, you're in the harvest right now of your entire life's work. And so hopefully at the next date and time, at the next time you're asked that question, you're at that next level.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really, I don't know, it somehow tied together in my brain. That's weird. So, but that's an awesome answer. Well, I don't care what you say, John.
I said it was a good one. I give you credit.
Once. He just gave you credit once. Most of the time, it would have been back.
I know you all are on a time crunch. So to answer your question about our challenges,
yes,
our challenges are definitely skilled labor. We're having a problem now. We're doing everything we possibly can to recruit in colleges, in high school. And the big debate, and we even see it in all these conventions that I go to, it's constantly discussed about, the culture has been such that, hey, little Johnny, we want you to go to college. That's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Well, a lot of those little Johnnies end up strapped with college debt, and they can't get a job, or they end up working. I don't have anything against this, but they end up working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
So they're saying that, hey, you can make good money right now and make a career in this trade, start with us now. You don't need to strap on that debt. And
Right.
so, college really isn't for everybody. And, there's not a management position for everybody. And there can be great money made in the field. And we're definitely at a shortage of labor now. And then as this infrastructure bill gets passed, that shortage is even going, that gap is going to be even bigger between what is needed and what we actually have. And it's come to, I even in one discussion talked about importing labor. And I was just talking about Mexico, because I know that the agriculture business does that. We wouldn't have enough labor if we didn't import the labor from Mexico to deal with all the agriculture work. And then I think it was a guy from a Southern company that told me that one time in like 2005, they brought a bunch of labor in from the Philippines. And it's not that the people couldn't do the work. It's because the cultures were so different between America and the Philippines, it just couldn't work.
Wow.
So I found that to be very interesting, that not only are you dealing with the mechanics of an individual being able to do a trade, but you're also dealing with their culture.
That's interesting.
So ultimately, economics will come into play, and something's got to give. I don't know if technology steps up to where less labor is needed to perform the work through some sort of automation process that we haven't seen yet, but something will give.
I agree. I think it's odd. And I always, my father was an engineer and worked for a cable company for many, many years, but probably at his like 50s, he quit and he ended up, he was a carpenter most of my life. He was a carpenter. And I always thought to myself, I wish my parents had given me more of a push toward a skill or a trade, or it allowed me and said, hey, maybe go figure out what plumbing looks like, or electrical, or something like that. Because I feel like more and more, as you alluded to with college kids, the expectation is graduate from high school, go to college, get a degree, right? Like that's just the uniform thing that you're supposed to do. And I feel like we've suffered a lot in those skilled trade and those professions, because I don't feel like people are even considering that when they leave, primary school, and
there's a stigma that comes along with it. At least, I mean, I know I'm a couple years younger than you, but not many. But there was a stigma coming out of high school, even when I graduated in 2001, that you didn't go into the military or into the trades directly out of high school unless you had nothing going on for you.
Right. I think that's so ridiculous.
And that narrative has been even shaped and pushed even farther, in my opinion, with my generation coming up here, where I've told both of my kids, like, hey, your dad went in the military. Then he went into the trades for 10 years. I think I did them both. And then I went to college. Then I went and got my degree and whatnot. And I got a degree in what I absolutely love, though. What I went put on this earth to do. But I have those experiences that, like you talk about, Walt, like I spent 10 years working with my hands on the trades. I have a skill that'll last a lifetime if you don't ask Joe, because I hung a light at his house.
I was just going to say Joe's light fell down.
Yeah.
A ceiling fan. Sorry.
I didn't break it. Light. Yeah.
Same thing.
It doesn't last a lot. The work doesn't have to last a lifetime. Just skill set to do it.
Just the skill set. Yeah. Thanks, Teddy.
Well, you're welcome.
No
But,
warranty.
But that's so true. Like, I mean, I don't tell my kids they have to go to college.
No, I don't either.
There's options. You can go into what you feel is going to be good for you. If you don't feel like you want to sit in a classroom and learn something, then once you get the primary skills, go for it.
Zoe and I talk about it a lot. My daughter, just because I'm like, look, if you don't want to go to college, you don't have to go to college. Like,
I just think it's that expectation, right? And then beyond that, it was after you go to college, you're supposed to get married, have kids, buy a house. It was just this whole regimented thing that we were it was drilled into all of our heads. And I still think that exists to this day.
It definitely does.
Yeah. So
that's a great conversation point, Walter.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So
this is all done by you.
All of this came from just him and I sitting next to each other at UCT going, hey, where'd you eat dinner last night? That's what it came down to. That's awesome.
And he's still regretting his choice of seating.
No, I sat down and we just hit it off. It was great.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you came. I'm glad to meet, and I think it's awesome. We talk about it all the time. This show allows us to meet people that we probably never would have had interactions with, and we get to learn so much about industries and parts of industries that are relatively associated with what we do, but not necessarily always. And gives us some real good perspective on kind of just what happens in different parts of the energy industry or even any industry that might be. So
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what Chad did in our last couple of these and say, Walt, I know we didn't get to talk about what you and I initially talked about, which was your what's the proper term for it? So I don't
Cross-bore.
Your cross-bore technologies
that's right.
that Equix has and everything like that. So I'd like to see if you'd be interested in a LinkedIn Live where you talk about all of that, because I think that would be an very educational thing for the industry.
Yeah, definitely. I love how you guys keep scheduling these LinkedIn Lives.
We haven't actually scheduled any yet. We just keep mentioning it.
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
What everybody doesn't know is that I have to do all
Joe's the controller
work.
of the LinkedIn Live.
So they're really just throwing me straight to the wolves. No, I'm just kidding. We would love to do it. It's the LinkedIn Live, if you haven't seen it, is a series that we do that's basically solely on the education of whatever it may be. We want to educate people. We're not trying to sell a product or push a particular agenda. It's just the education of whether it be a product or a service or a anything.
Solution.
So yeah, it would be awesome if you'd be willing to do that, and we can talk about that after this and potentially schedule something with you. I'd love to do that.
I'd love to do that. There's two things I'd like to tell y'all about that are cool.
Preview them now. Give us a quick preview of them, and then we'll wrap. All
right. One of them is the cross-bore inspections that you and I talked about. Mm-hmm. It's really cool stuff. And then the other is job order contracting, which is a really cool way of procuring construction through a government program that meets the 3-bid requirement, but essentially all the construction pricing is in a catalog, a book, for every different scope of work that you could possibly imagine. And so all you do is essentially.
And I got a guy to fix my drywall because I stink at it.
Tell me where you are, I'll find you someone to fix your drywall.
All right. That's great. All right, Walter. Well, thank you so much for joining us, my friend. This has been a tremendous opportunity to get to know you better, to hear about your wonderful company, and to just, again, foster the connections that can get made in our industry across the multiple different avenues of it.
Absolutely.
Well, y'all are great people, and I'm truly honored to be asked to be on your call.
Well, thank you very much. We're happy to have you. It's definitely our honor. We appreciate all of our guests. You have no idea. Thank you.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Walt, great interview, my friend. Before I let these guys talk about it, I wanted to share a little bit. Walt and I had a funny interaction at UCT and down at the Utilitech conference and
University of Central Texas.
Yep, that's where it was.
That's exactly where it was. How did you know? Why did you ruin the surprise for everybody? Blurt. No, we met actually over dinner recommendations. We were outside of one of the classes, and I was looking up somewhere to take some customers to dinner that night, and he goes, "Oh, you got to try this place."
And he creepily looked over your shoulder while you were searching.
Well, it was weird because he sat down next to me and actually just put his arm around me and leaned into the place, and I'm like, "Do I know you?" And he's like, "No, but I heard you were thinking about going to dinner." And I said, "No, I'm not." But no, honestly, it was a great recommendation. We hit it off, and we've seen Walt at 7,000 shows.
We have seen Walt like 16 times since we recorded with him.
Yeah. So
every time we see him, he goes, "You gonna put the episode out?"
It's taking a while to get Walt on. Sorry, Walt.
Honestly, it's because we had to figure out how to edit again. He threw a curveball at us, and we don't know how to do that stuff very well. So we still love you. We thank you so much.
Have we even edited it yet?
No, we've tried. It hasn't worked very well though.
So we're just hopeful this time.
Yes.
Well, we're gonna put instructions in there for everybody to go like this at the certain time period. And close their eyes.
At 31 and a half minutes, plug your ears.
Go like this on your scroll thing.
Go like that.
On your scroll thing?
The scroll tab at the bottom of the video.
What do we have coming up? Hey, I'm gonna see you guys this week.
Oh, maybe. Unfortunately. I saw you last week, Chad. Or 2 weeks
Last
ago.
week?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, I didn't
Hugged
ship
in
you
a
that
parking
thing.
lot.
I didn't ship you that thing yet either. I just realized that it's right.
Bring it
next
with
to
you.
my desk.
Check it. Check it.
Yo, I'm not checking that.
Check it.
Zero
Check it.
chance I'm checking.
Check it.
Zero.
I have one cool article I thought you guys would like. It just makes me laugh.
Is it about hockey?
No, it just makes me
Basketball?
laugh.
An
No,
amount.
Natural gas.
no.
No.
So AOC, you guys know what AOC is?
Yeah.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or however you pronounce her name. She posted a video the other day about the Keystone and Line 3 pipelines. And I just thought that this was funny. When you look at Keystone XL, this is her quote. When you look at Keystone XL and when you look at a lot of these other pipelines, people say, oh, this is for energy, independence in the United States. AOC stated during the video, which was garnered more than 180,000 views. We actually already produce enough power to power our own country, whether you agree with it or not. A lot of these pipelines are being built so the United States can export and sell natural gas abroad. Well, if you know anything about Keystone XL and Line 3,
They're literally in the middle of the country, and Keystone brings in energy from Canada.
they're both oil.
Yeah.
They're not natural gas. So I mean, this goes on and on, but it just made me laugh that people that are in power that are putting out these videos and this information don't even know what's in the pipeline that they're against. Little ironic to me. I feel like if you're going to be posting videos that are going to garner hundreds of thousands of views, you should at least know a little bit about the pipelines that you're referring to. So just a little,
Nah.
bump, bump.
Bump, bump. All right. Hey, folks, we love you. We thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
We we appreciate you guys. We want you to remember to like, click, subscribe, share.
Maybe you guys could bring something to the show for once, no, maybe no.
I was Cartman earlier. I don't. What more could I give you?
Just saying, like, maybe you guys need a segment.
Oh, that's a
Like
great
it.
idea.
We like
Mine's,
it.
hey, we should end the show now.
It's not a segment.
Darn it. Ow, hurt my hand.
Oh, I didn't say. Thanks,
Have a
Walt.
great show.
Yeah, thank you, Walt.
Thank you all.